Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're putting your finances on the operating table. We're going to dissect what a strong financial foundation really looks like and explore all the vital systems that create true financial health. So let's start with this idea. What if you could look at your finances not as this, confusing mess of numbers, but as a living, breathing system? A system that you can actually understand, diagnose, and improve. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. All right, here's our game plan. We'll start by defining the anatomy of financial freedom. Then we'll check its heartbeat, which is your budget. After that, we'll look at the shield, savings and debt, and build out the skeleton with your long-term goals. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a full financial health checkup. Okay, let's dive right into part one. Before we can start checking any vital signs, we really need to understand what we're even looking at. So what are we talking about when we say financial freedom? This right here, this is the core of it all. And notice, it doesn't say anything about being a millionaire, right? It's about building a system that covers your expenses, a system that gives you control, options, and genuine choice. It's really about independence. So how do we start building this financial body? Well, every living thing needs a heart to pump blood and circulate resources. And for your finances, that heart is your budget. It's the engine that powers absolutely everything else. A lot of people hear the word budget and they tense up. They think of it as a cage, a list of all the things you can't do. But a good budget is the complete opposite of that. It's a tool for getting what you truly want. It's not about restriction, it's a plan that tells your money exactly what you want it to do for you. Now, here's a really simple but powerful way to think about it. The 50-30-20 rule. It's just a guideline, but the idea is that about 50% of your take-home pay goes to your absolute needs, 30% goes to your wants, the fun stuff, and a really crucial 20% goes to savings and paying down debt. The genius here is that it builds once right into the plan, which makes it so much easier to stick to. And getting this heart pumping isn't some complex surgery. It really just comes down to these three simple steps. First, you just track your spending. You have to know where your money is actually going. Second, you make a plan. Give every single dollar a job to do. And third, and this is the part everyone forgets, you have to adjust. A budget isn't a stone tablet. It's more like a GPS. Your life changes, and so your plan needs to be able to change with. Okay, so your budget is pumping away. But what happens when life happens? What happens when your financial body gets hit with an unexpected expense? That is where your defense system comes in. We're talking about your savings and how you manage debt. This number is basically your financial immune system. Having 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses tucked away in an emergency fund, that's what lets you fight off a financial infection, like a surprise car repair or, a sudden job loss. Honestly, the peace of mind that comes with this is one of the best investments you can ever make. Now, speaking of defense, we have to talk about debt. And here's the thing, not all debt is a virus attacking your system. Some debt can actually be protective, like a mortgage that helps you build an asset over time. But other kinds of debt, especially high-interest credit card debt, well, that's the stuff that actively harms your financial health. Okay, so with a strong heart and a good immune system, your financial body can do way more than just survive. It can actually grow. And for that growth, it needs a framework, a skeleton to give it shape and support. And that's where your long-term goals and investments come in. Just look at how this financial skeleton gets built over time, bone by bone. It's not one giant leap. It's a series of consistent, deliberate steps. You open an account when you're young, you work on maximizing contributions later, you rebalance as you go. Each action adds strength, building you up towards that ultimate goal of financial freedom. All right, our anatomical exploration is pretty much complete. We've looked at the heart, the immune system, and the skeleton. So for our final step, let's just put it all together and run a quick financial health checkup. These are really the 4 vital signs you want to keep an eye on. Think of them like your financial blood pressure, heart rate, and temperature. Is your heartbeat, your budget, steady and strong? Is your immune system, that emergency fund, healthy? How's your metabolism when it comes to processing debt? And is your skeleton, your goals, actually strong and growing? And there you have it. A full checkup can feel a little overwhelming, but improving your health always starts with just one single step. So out of these 4 vital signs, what's the one you'll check first? Because that first step, that's all it takes to start building a healthy financial future.